her heart stopped. I saw him walk up to Gabriella and I saw him put his hand on her.
This video contains reenactments. However, all footage of the child is actual footage taken at the time of the events.
I believe it is, and this became especially important for my wife Hayley as the birth of our first child drew near.
When I was pregnant with Gabriella, I decided that I didn't want to have any fear during the birth, and that was something that was really important to me. I believe I didn't have any fear during the birth, and it was a very good birth.
While Hayley was in labour, the nurses kept commenting on how peaceful we were. They weren't used to that. And then I would pray for them, and they definitely weren't used to that, especially one with a neck injury who was healed as I prayed. I'll never forget the first moment I saw Gabriella.
She was a perfect little baby.
I can remember looking at her and saying, "Hayley, she's got your lips."
The first half an hour was the most incredible half an hour of my life.
Who did it, babe? What's her name?
Her name is Gabriella.
Yeah?
Little did we know, in an instant, everything would change, and our decision to have no fear was about to be put to the test.
About half an hour after she was born, they noticed that she was breathing really quickly. It kept getting worse and worse. She required more and more oxygen. She started to have some breathing problems and needed some oxygen. So at that time we got the paediatrician to come in and help us as well. And from there she just rapidly deteriorated very quickly. The paediatricians and the people I'd call in to assist took Gabriella with Nathaniel to the special care nursery.
I joined Gabriella in the nursery, and it became clear that this was really serious. They had her on oxygen and they were trying to get needles into her tiny veins in order to sedate her, and they kept missing the vein over and over again. All the while I had my hands on her and I was praying for her, telling her, "Daddy's here, Daddy's here." If we're not careful, we'll be thanking God when things are going well, and moments later blaming Him when they're not. But it's the enemy who comes to kill, steal and destroy. Jesus brings life. Finally, they got Gabriella to sleep, and Hayley came in, and the doctor took us into the next room.
At this point she was unconscious because they had heavily sedated her. They had to put a tube down her throat and give her 100% oxygen. Nathaniel and I were in a little room next to the room where Gabriella was. 5 minutes after they put the tube down her throat, her heart stopped. None of the doctors expected that. Nobody expected that.
We heard the sound of doctors and buzzers going off. They were doing CPR on our daughter, and we heard the sound of
1, 2, 3, breathe. 1, 2, 3, breathe.
What do we do as Christians in moments like this, when we're facing serious trials? Sometimes we can be overwhelmed and even pray out of fear. What if we were not moved by situations around us because of who He is within us? So that's exactly what I did. I looked at Hayley and I held her hand.
Nathaniel just said to me, "Let's have no fear. Let's just pray and let's just believe God." I was just like, okay. And I put my hand on his hand, and the nurse next to us put her hand on our hands, and she said, "Let's pray."
It was at that moment that we realized Amy the midwife was actually a Christian.
So we just started praying. And I just thought, I'm here today because I need to stand in the gap. Nathaniel said, "I just rebuke the spirit of death." And I was like, whoa, harsh, but it really challenged me. It's like, no, there's actually a fight right now going on for her life.
Minute after minute went by without a pulse, and we continued to pray, not begging God, but partnering with him, knowing it was his will to heal her.
For me, that was a very weak moment. But right then, I saw a vision of Jesus. I saw him walk up to Gabriella, and I saw him put his hand on her.
After 4 minutes, Gabriella's heartbeat came back.
From that moment, when I saw that vision of Jesus, for me, it was okay.